Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, assalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Welcome to the R2F Show. For those of you joining us, you guys already know what we're about. We don't have to repeat it. So we're gonna get right into it. So first, Amr, if you can, give us without a spoiler, give us a little background on Elon Musk dad or Elon Musk's background, just a little bit, so our viewers know kind of who he is. Because some might be like, "Oh, I didn't even know he had a dad. Who is he? Who is this guy?" Because I'll tell real quick just when I was introduced to Elon Musk, not introduced to him, but when he came into my realm, I guess, of knowing about him, it sold as many of these white billionaires, millionaires that he started from nothing. He's such a genius, and his hard work and superior IQ he just rose to the tops and made his fortune, and now he's building robots and flying to space and yada yada yada. But give our viewers a real background of where Elon Musk comes from.
All right, so listen, little backstory on me first. All right, I am very much a hater for majority of non-Muslim European descent people. So non-Muslim whites, I'm a hater of most of them. All right, there's only a few I give credit to, like freaking like Richard of the Lionheart, Dirk Nowitzki, Tom Brady. Besides that, I'm not really giving out credit, right? So
right,
Elon Musk is essentially like if Jaffer and my brother Mubarak, right, if they took credit for all the food that I made and say, "Hey, I'm a chef," that's essentially what Elon Musk does with his inventions, right? So he has all these scientists and engineers built these things. He said, "Hey, I'm the person that made this," right? He comes from a family, right? He is a white South African who's rich. So I wonder how that happened in South Africa. Anyway, his father may or may not own an emerald mine in South Africa where he had slaves. So Elon Musk was, he got his daddy's money, his backing, and then he hewed his way up to some money. So props to him. They falsely claim him to be the richest man of all time, but we know that's Mansa Musa from Mali. So that is Elon Musk. He is your average scoundrel, rat white guy who ratted his way to money. All right, and now you can say he's a big shot.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people talk about he's such a genius and this and that, and like I hear him speak on these interviews, and I don't know, I'm not an expert on geniuses. He does seem like he's a little bit autistic or something.
He's a pothead.
Something definitely going on there. But nothing he says ever strikes me as like, oh, that was amazing. This guy is so super smart. Like literally nothing he has ever said I'm like, oh wow, that's interesting. So I don't know. But we'll play this. You have the context. We're gonna play the clip for you guys. You pull it up, and then we'll go from there. One second. Who the heck is?
Joffrey, you want me to? I can pull up.
There we go. Okay. Everybody's calling me all at the wrong time. Here we go.
I'm famous, Mr. Hobby over there.
Elon Musk happy.
I got you, Joffrey. Hold on, I'll share it.
Okay, so here you go. You guys listen to this, and then we'll give you guys our take on this.
The big concern at the moment, and why I think South Africa is a big talking point in the US right now, is America in the next 20 years will become, for the first time in its history, a minority white country.
Well, that will be very, very bad thing to happen. You want to see the US down? Why? Oh, you don't like cars and electric cars, and you don't like technology, or what is it? You want to go back to the jungle, or?
If the US becomes a minority white country.
Yes.
So there's Latinas, there's blacks, there's people from all different races make up the majority, and then it could be 48% white people. Do you really think the US is doomed if it goes under?
Yes, it goes under there.
Seriously?
Yes, of course. You see, if you take South Africa, we have a small white population that projects the European culture, or what we learned from Europe.
And oppressed millions of black people.
No.
for decades.
How do you oppress? We gave them work. We fed them. They grew from a tiny little group into a massive group. That's not oppression. That's feeding them. Do you understand? You only grow. You only start at 800 and become 50 million if you get fed. We fed them, for crying out loud. For this nonsense.
But so you understand, because the black population was so oppressed under apartheid.
Well, we never saw this oppression you're talking about.
You never.
I wonder why.
No, I never saw it.
Yeah, because you're white. The big
Listen.
Oh, hold on.
concern at the moment, and why I think South Africa is a big talking point in the
This
US
is
right now.
exactly. I'm
America
talking about
in the next
exactly
20 years
how the slave
will
masters
become
will talk
the
to you
first
today.
time
I
in
guarantee you,
a mind.
if we had slave masters alive today, it would say, listen, we brought these Africans over here, right? Gave them jobs, houses, and Christianity. Like, what more do you want from us? We're doing good here. All right. I didn't see any oppression happening, all right, while I was there. All right. Absolute slave master. Like, what are you talking about, bro?
I mean, the stuff he was saying is I'm laughing. It's not funny, but it is kind of funny. Like, for someone actually in 2025 to still be speaking like this, like he said, like, we fed them, they grew. Are you telling me before the little bit of white people that came to South Africa, all the black Africans didn't know how to feed themselves?
Well,
they're just all starving, like, oh, we don't know how to live.
This is funny. It is funny from our perspective because of the knowledge or the understanding that we have. But from his perspective and the information that has to deal with, it's true. Everything that he's saying is true. And hear me out. From the beginning, he has a certain worldview. He's fed information, or he's taught information in school, or in his country, in his sphere of information. And based on that, then he tells you, and he's speaking very confidently and like, sure, absolutely. I mean, they were we fed them, we gave them jobs. I mean, he clearly is not an idiot, and he doesn't even come off as insincere, as like trying to be sly or tricky. He believes this because this is what he was told. He's the type of person that probably still listens to the radio to get his news and information, and so the information that he's getting is, and if we go back through history, one of the reasons why they could finance and justify the colonizing a lot of these places in Asia, Africa, North and South America, is because they told them a story. They would tell people to get them to go. Number one, this is an uninhabited land. There's gold everywhere. The people are barbarians. They need the Bible. They need help. They're not going to tell them, so they're not going to tell them that, oh, they have a thriving society and economy and they're actually more advanced than we are, but we have weapons. Then, most people in the world over history generally don't want to kill and maim and subjugate other people.
Right.
They have to be convinced to do it either through propaganda or by saying that they're going to kill us, therefore we need to kill them, i.e. war on terror. We need to go and attack Afghanistan and Iraq because we found some Saudi nationals that we say crashed into a building in 9/11. I mean, this is the story that they tell you, to where they have to convince you to do these things. So for him, his information is just that. They're barbarians. It's not many of them. They're probably starving and hungry. They can't even feed themselves. So he's like, we gave them work, we gave them jobs, we gave them all these things. The other thing that he said was, if the whites are the minority, then it's all gonna, be destroyed. Why does he think that? If you just without any context, without knowing who did what, if you look at all the countries in the world that are the most advanced, that have the best technology, the best roads and systems and everything. It's the nations that have at least the white people that are the majority or the white people that are in control. That's why he believes that. If you don't know any of the context, if you don't know how and why it's like that, if you just think, oh, of course. I mean, so it's not, I don't even necessarily blame him for thinking that. He's misinformed. And what you have to realize is he's within that, that baby boomer age where you have these people that are between, 55 and 75. I don't know, the scale moves, but in that age where post World War II, they have a certain amount. There's a lot of them. Okay, there are a lot of them. They're starting to die now, but there's a lot of them, and they have been indoctrinated in a certain way to where it's very hard to. If you've ever seen people within that range, it's very hard to get them to change what they think is, the facts of life and the reality, and they believe these things that they see in the newspaper. If the newspaper wrote it, it's true. There's no way that someone could write in a newspaper. If it's in a book, yeah, it's true. It's in a book. Or President so and so said it, or the politician said it. So this is the type of people that I have. The problem is that what duped and indoctrinated and fooled that generation, that program is still running. So there's a lot of leftover, and there's a lot of that still going on. So while we kind of laugh at him for being so, ignorant of how empires and how this thing is really done, we still have a lot of that going on today. It's done in a little bit of a different way, but we still have a lot of it. So he's ignorant, but I don't blame him that much for why he's like that. He's wrong, but there's a lot of people that are on that same tune.
Well, I would push back just a little bit. How did he make his money? Like, what is his status?
Okay, well, some research. His great grandfather was English. And then his father was South African. So Errol Musk was also born in South Africa. So he comes from a family of emerald miners, basically. And they went to Africa for a reason, obviously. His great grandfather was a military man for the British Empire. So this is when the British take over the world. So that's how they got there. So obviously, if you're British in Africa at the time, you're there for one reason only, all right? Slaves, all right? and some freaking jewels, all right?
And where does he get where does his family fortune come from? What are they involved in? Because he's just like a normal citizen that's just like reading newspapers and getting it fed to him. He's like part of the, like, correct me if I'm wrong, he's part of the upper levels of like what's going on in that society. So I find it like I don't think it's ignorance. I think he is sincere in what he believes. Just like you talk to some of these KKK people, like they sincerely believe that white people are better. Like you don't hear any type of like lie in their voice when they're talking about it. He sincerely believes what he believes, but at the same time, like it comes from you put him in any situation. I believe, like if he was in America, he'd be part of the KKK, right? That's the type of person he is. White is better, because just for him to think that like if we dip below 50% of white people, which we're probably already there if we're like counting like mixed races, and if you have come on, let's be serious, right? Arabs are actually counted as white in the census. They're not white, right? But and you go to the census, anybody who's Arab is counted as a white person in the United States. They gotta be. Yeah. But anyway, he thinks if we dip below, we go 49.9% white people in America, the country's just gonna fall apart. As if it's not falling apart already with the white people being the majority.
Yeah, but that's why I mean, I don't know, man. He may be just ignorant. He may be just playing everybody. But the thing is, it's true. It's true. If the population dips below a certain percentage, based on recent history and modern history, I'm talking about within the last 2,000 years, based on the 20th and the 21st century, the countries that have majority of black people or brown people, they're not as advanced in. You can go over however many metrics you want. Now, I'm just saying that's the truth.
Wait, before you say that, let me ask though, because we have to first acknowledge that we're all affected by this colonial mindset. are these metrics? Yeah, because you're saying more advanced.
Wait.
Right?
Wait. No. Mubarak is just saying for a fact, right? He's not saying how it happened or why it happened. He's just saying for a fact.
Well, I'm not saying for why. I'm not saying the cause.
When all the whites leave, all right, and they take their money with them for a reason, all right, and they go put the money somewhere else. So all the money that they can get for importing goods and infrastructure and stuff, they put that into this new place.
It's like this. That definition of more advanced, better, worse, where does that come from? Because, for instance, we go to Dubai, UAE. I'll tell you right now, it's 100 times better than any place you'll go in America.
Yeah. Okay. Now let me see. I'm saying just in general. It's not every. You're not going to find every place.
Right.
In majority of situations, like you can even say Dubai, for instance. As wonderful as it is, do you know that they don't even have a sewer system? They literally have to pump the sewage and then truck it out. God knows where they truck it. Them trucks dump it at, but they literally have trucks and they pump it out and then they take it somewhere. I mean, these are things that you'd be like,
yeah, but so that's what I'm saying. What? So what?
But what I'm saying is that that's just
ours goes into our river.
Yeah. Let me just say this. It's like this. For instance, if we always go to a certain gym to play basketball, they always got new balls. The floor is always, it's not dusty. It's like someone actually mops the floor or whatever. They got referees there. There's no fighting. There's no 10-minute arguments about fouls or whatever.
Yeah.
And so there's a reason for that. So imagine that you normally go to that gym, good balls, plenty of balls, referees, no arguments, clean floors, clean bathrooms, whatever. Then you show up one day, referees is gone. No basketballs. There's like a volleyball in there somewhere. You got no one cleaning the floors, all this thing. So that's the equivalent of, and let me add one more thing into that. Also, the people who then take the balls and those amenities, they also will do stuff like set booby traps or poison the place or tell people, bad things about the gym or whatever. So I know that's not a great analogy, but the point is this. The reason why the places that are majority white or white controlled are better is because of the, for lack of a better term, the evil in which they go about being in charge. They will exploit any and everyone else in order to have that situation. And the UAE, or like you mentioned, Dubai, they literally are doing the blueprint. That's the blueprint for how you become so advanced and nice and wonderful and have these amenities. It's due to exploitation of someone somewhere.
Yeah,
case in point,
right.
UAE right now is profiting heavily off of the Sudan conflict. They literally did, for the UAE to survive and to thrive in the way that they've been doing. They need Sudan to stay in conflict so that they can have the resources. Gold is not just about the gold. I don't know if I mentioned this in the last show, but I was talking to a brother in my masjid from Sudan. And man, I wish I could. We might need to have him on because he dropped so much knowledge and information about what's really going on there. He said straight up, he doesn't care if America collapses. He says if America collapses, he's going to Sudan. Because he said basically, long story short, he said, listen, I'd rather die over there and fight over there than be over here. But the point is, what he said was the gold is insignificant. He said the agriculture and the land and the fertile land and the water, See, these Arab countries, they have a water situation in which they have to either import or they have to actually what's the word where they take the salt out of the water? Anyway, desalinized or something like that.
Filtrated or whatever.
Anyway, so they had to do this. So he said basically, so the Nile
Exactly. Yep.
from
To
Sudan to Egypt. So everybody thinks about Egypt and the Nile or whatever. Nah. Sudan actually could cause trouble for everyone up river. So you really
it's Uganda, right?
Yeah. So you have such a strong position because you have Ethiopia. See, he said Ethiopia can't really do too much with the water that's flowing in the Nile, because if they try to dam it too much or whatever, they will get flooded. Mm-hmm. They almost like they can't even try to do anything. However, with Sudan, where you have control of the water and everybody up, so Egypt really is not subservient, but they are. Sudan got to act right. If Sudan don't act right, Egypt could be heavily affected.
They're downstream.
Yeah. So the point is that the UAE wants that the control of the resources that can come from the land, not just the gold, but the natural resources, that the ability to do agriculture and the water. And so these are things that UAE does not have. They do not have an abundance of agricultural land, nor an abundance of water, nor an abundance of gold. So when we look at how advanced the UAE is, they're doing it like they daddy, like the white folks taught them.
Yeah, it's like the paper bag test. Like, okay, y'all are a little bit poor, a little bit darker than us, so we're gonna get these Indians and Pakis and Sudanese over here to work on all of our buildings, just like the white Americans or the white South Africans did in those countries. Get the black people to build all this stuff for us, and then use their brain power, all the engineers and doctors and scientists and programmers, and we'll just sit here and act like the white people are all responsible for all this success that's happening over here.
I mean, even look at the term. Have you heard the term the janjaweed, as they say, the janjaweed in Sudan, right? And this is why it's just so amazing to me. Sometimes words, just like I always get on people about when they say, "Oh, it's a holiday." I say it right. It's a holy day. That way, it's attached to some religion. But when we say holiday, that just means day off. But holy day means a religious thing, right? So the brother, he mentioned the Janjaweed, right? And he talked about how the RSF, Rapid Support Forces, which are who the UAE is funding now to do their bidding or whatever. So the Janjaweed they basically, from the Janjaweed, they gave birth to the RSF. So pretty much that's who the Janjaweed are. And so I'm thinking, like, what the heck is a Janjaweed? And so in Sudan you have some people who are Sudani, they're Sudanese, but they consider themselves Arabs. And some are lighter, some are darker, but they're still Sudanese. And so it became a thing over there where, in order to be taxed less, they did not tax the Arab Sudanese as much as just the regular black Sudanese. And when the Ottomans were in power, they taxed the people and they wanted money. When they weren't getting enough, they decided, well, okay, anybody who's not, Arab descendant or Turkish or whatever, we're gonna tax them more. Of course, darkies get the worst. So what a lot of Sudanese started to do was to claim that they were Arab. They claimed we're Arabs. Okay, right. Just like the same thing, like we know how in subcontinent, right? How they claim to be Gilanis, or they claim to be, it was for social mobility and to move up socially and financially. You had to claim it. So basically, a Sudanese brother was saying that this is still like that today. Why a lot of the Sudanese claim to be Arabs is because how the system worked. You got treated better, or you weren't taxed as badly, and you got more mobility socially. So, but the point of the Janjaweed is, do either one of you brothers know what Janjaweed actually means?
No idea.
Okay, I'm going to tell you. One of the Arabic words for horse is jawadun, right? Jawadun means a horse, okay? So usually, sometimes in some forms of Arabic, like if you want to make it plural, or you want to make it like a small or something. So Jawad, Jaweed, okay? Janjaweed,
Mhm.
okay? So Jawadun means horse. So, and Jaweed, okay, it means like horses or horsemen or whatever. So do you know what the word Jan means? Come
Jan?
on. Jan? Jin?
Oh, Jan.
Yeah. So Jan,
It's
Jan,
plural.
what we know is Jin, okay? Jan
Yeah.
Jaweed are shayateen on horseback. They're jinn horsemen. They're shayateen on horses. So
Oh,
this is
man.
what they called these people who were the Janjaweed.
Alhamdulillah.
They were so evil and so bad. This is what they called them. So the Janjaweed is like, oh, we know them as a group of fighters or whatever. Nah, the people started calling them Janjaweed, the shayateen on horses, because this is
Damn.
how they used to roll at first. Because of how evil they were, and
Yo,
I'm like, I'm
that's
thinking to
it.
myself, what did Jen do? Then when I heard it, I said, oh my god, that's what I mean. And if you see what the RSF, which was the Janjaweed, if you see some of the videos and things that they're doing, is it not an accurate description of
yeah.
you know how they roll? It's amazing.
Crazy how that works.
Yeah, that's
But
crazy.
just
Well,
to tie it all back in
yep.
to Elon Musk, again, he's taking credit for things that he doesn't do. They credit him for SpaceX. He doesn't. Elon Musk isn't a rocket scientist. He didn't go to school for this. Listen, Elon Musk is a pothead with ideas. All right, he says things that he can't do and promises that he can't keep up. He's supposed to be freaking some like 2,000-mile-an-hour railway for America 20 years ago, damn near at this point. So like he just be yapping. Right? He's yapping.
Yeah.
Look, man, if Elon Musk puts any person on the moon or Mars or anything like that, I will come on this show and eat this hat. I will eat my hat. It won't happen.
Hey, I don't know, Mubarak. The way that if they can fake it that good back in 1970 something or 80, wherever it was.
Oh my goodness, please, yeah.
They might convince.
Nah, nowadays it's just AI.
No, it's definitely gonna be AI. I tell you, listen, I'll take this hat off and I'll eat it live on stream.
You gotta say they gotta send you there.
Listen, yeah, I gotta see it myself. I gotta be there. I'll be like, yeah, okay, yeah, it's the moon. Okay,
the spaceship malfunctioned and blew up again.
Well, we're talking about Sudan, and we know about the atrocities going there. It's actually worse than what's going on in Palestine. It's going on for a while, and it's getting pretty much ignored, in our opinion, a lot of people's opinions, because it's dark-skinned people, unfortunately. It's starting to get a little bit more recognition now, but don't worry, because there's a savior that's going to fix everything now. And, just make dua. You guys that like making duas, the people that voted for him, those imams that were doing campaigns for him, he is now coming to save the day, much like he saved the day in Gaza. And let's listen to
His Majesty would like me to do something very powerful having to do with Sudan. It was not on my chart to be involved in that. I thought it was just something that was crazy and out of control. But I just see how important that is to you and to a lot of your friends in the room. Sudan, and we're going to start working in Sudan. I didn't think that was one that was going to be so easy to do, but we're going to start working. He mentioned Sudan yesterday, and he said, sir, you're talking about a lot of wars, but there's a place on earth called Sudan, and it's horrible what's happening. And I viewed it as being just sort of a freelance, no government, no this, no that. And he explained the whole culture and the whole history. And it was very interesting to hear. Really amazing, actually, to hear. And, we've already started working on that, okay? He said that would be the greatest thing you can do. That would be greater than what you've already done. That was your expression. Is that a correct expression? So we're working on that.
Hold on.
Started about
Hold on.
30 minutes after you explained to us the great importance of that than I did just a day ago. His man.
Hold on. That was such insane, Cap. This man said that he just found out about it from him yesterday. But say, I'm already working on it though.
Yeah, I got to rant about this a little bit. First, it shows a few things, right? It's one of those situations where it's either got to be this or it's got to be that. We're talking about the president of the United States that is supposed to be, that has at his right hand side, the like, as far as we know, the most advanced intelligence network in the world. I need to know about what's going on in the world for my position.
A briefing report.
And he's talking about something that is a major global event that's been happening since his first term in office, right? He's like, yeah, I didn't really know nothing about it. I just found out about it yesterday. I thought it was just people just going crazy, but he said it's not as important to him, now it's important to me. Like, are you freaking, like, so you're either one, just admitting that you're totally incompetent, right? Totally incompetent, or two, and this is what I really think it is, because he said the prince or his majesty or whatever he called him, he said, you're concerned about all these wars, but let me tell you about some place. Let me retranslate that for you. They're having a conversation, and what he really meant to say is, you're telling me about all these you're looking at all these opportunities to make money and take power. Let me tell you about Sudan, because the UAE and Saudi have a little thing, right? And the prince was probably like, listen, if you could take UAE out of Sudan and put our interest in Sudan, we'll give you a better deal than you're currently getting with the UAE. And you could take these gifts personally, some billions of dollars, some other deals for you and your family, your Trump business or whatever. We got a better deal for you than what you guys are currently doing with the people you're working with now. And so Trump, like, you know what? I like what you're saying there. Let's do something about it. That's pretty much what I got from this clip.
Yeah, so one thing that popped out to me is when he said, "Oh, I heard that Sudan, it was just like kind of like just a no government kind of a lawless situation, or whatever." He's in the same age range, the same type of person as Elon Musk's dad. This is what they think. This is what they are fed. This is what they're shown, and they think that now. And that may be the situation. I mean, I've talked to people in Sudan and in Somalia where they said they did the same thing in Somalia. But yeah, the government completely broke down. It completely disintegrated. And there was no, you're not going to go to, the district office or the government office or, go down to this. It was gone. There was nothing but just people just kind of making it on their own. So this is, you have two white people, it could be cousins for all we know, and they have the same type of mindset. But I would like to take y'all a little bit deeper down the rabbit hole, and that is, if we look at the situation in Gaza, right? I mean, it took over the world for the last 2+ years. They've been getting assaulted and crushed. And who do you think, as far as countries and then an individual, who do you think has gotten the most negative press or probably been held the most responsible from the Muslims, as far as why nothing's being done in Gaza to help the Muslims?
Saudi.
So as far as Muslims being responsible,
as far as Muslims are concerned, yeah.
Oh yeah, Saudi, definitely Saudi.
Okay,
Saudi, yeah, go ahead.
So if you are advising MBS, Mohammed bin Salman, and you already know we're not doing anything in Gaza, we're not sending no planes, we're not fighting over there, we're not doing it.
Yeah.
What would be one thing that you could advise him? Hey, you know what?
I think
we're not going to Gaza, but what do you think would be a good advice for him to try to do?
I think that, listen, what if we used a token blacks, all right, in place of Palestinians? So listen.
We got thrown back into
I
the
think
token
that
black. We're doing a Bilal on us?
Exactly. So listen,
man.
the mu'addins of Islam are being attacked right now in Sudan, all right? Our mu'addins are being attacked. So I'm gonna go make a national scene in America saying, Trump, buddy, pal, listen, things happen every time over there in Jerusalem. It's Holy Land, it's fine. But in Sudan, though, I care about that deeply, right? Like, it affects me, even though they're my neighbors of the UAE, all right? But listen, I think you should help them out more than I should, for real,
Yeah, so you see, it's always a game that's being played, right? So we can't, in order for it's like this, in order for us to get people to at least stop paying so much attention to this over here and saying we're not doing anything, There's actually an even worse crisis going on. Literally, it's worse.
Mhm.
And if we can look like we are doing something there, at least no one can say, hey, listen, we would help Gaza, but we're busy over here in Sudan.
So what's happening in Sudan?
We're exhausted.
It's much worse.
We got hands in. We're funding things. We're getting President Trump on it. You know what I mean? America's gonna get in there. So it's a PR win. Okay, it can silence the people who are saying they're not doing anything or they don't care about the Muslims.
Yeah.
And then as soon as someone says you're not doing nothing like Gaza, what, you don't care about Sudan? So they can literally throw it back at him. I mean, this is actually brilliant. It's a smart move by MBS to.
And as far as if you're looking at profitability, which one actually has more profit than like?
You also can make money. I mean,
you get access to the water, like you mentioned, the gold, the maybe some more free labor, like
and like if you as MBS and Saudi, you play a part in actually freeing Sudan from the RSF and the UAE, right? Black folks are so like, oh wow, the Arabs came and saved us. We're gonna be loyal to them now. So we have their backing. So it's a nasty game, bro.
And if you like, as far like, for instance, Saudi Arabia, the Saudi government and the territory that they control, their water situation is so fragile. They spend a lot of money and energy actually desalinating or whatever it's called, the salt water. They have plants and systems to set up just to give their people regular clean drinking water or whatever. And so it's so fragile that if those systems were attacked in any way or harmed in any way, within like 2 weeks they would have no water. I mean, that's one of the reports I saw, to where it's very, and it's, if you remember what the sort of Quraysh is about, they had been the accustomed security in which in Arabia at that time it was the way to make money was robbing caravans. But they would not rob the Quraysh because they were taking care of the Haramain or whatever. So Saudi right now has a similar situation where nobody really attacks them. Now America is protecting them. They do have an agreement to protect them, and so, but they're very fragile, and that's one reason why they really not going to mix it up with nobody. Because like if Iran really wanted to just say, man, you know what, kamikaze style, whatever, they could really, really hurt the Saudis really bad. They could do it. Now they might turn around and get knocked upside the head by the US and whoever else, but they could do it. So you have that going on. But to your point where you said how Donald Trump is like, oh, I didn't know anything. It's like, this is why I say anybody who votes, they either have severe lack of information or they are incredibly ignorant. I stopped short of calling him a fool, but there's no point in voting. This guy is literally supposed to be the president of the United States, and he's acting like he doesn't know. The UAE, which is funding the Janjaweed, who became the RSF, this is their whole project. They get their military. The UAE does not produce weapons. You do realize that they don't manufacture weapons. They get them from the United States, and then the UAE gives those weapons to the Janjaweed, to the RSF. So the United States 100% knows exactly. I mean, they know exactly why and how the situation in Sudan got like that. They did it. Exactly. They are one of the reasons why it's there. And so for Donald Trump to not know, and like, oh, either you have the president of the United States, the top officer in the whole land, is clueless. Or he's playing you for a fool. Either one means, why are you voting for any of these people? It's like it just doesn't make any sense. But he definitely the US is 199% complicit in everything that's going on in Sudan.
I'm about to say, you think America has these military bases just for show? They have agents all over the world, because America's number one game they pull is instability. Because guess what? Since World War II, America learned, guess what? Wars are profitable. So if I can sell you guns to both sides, by the way, I'm gonna sell guns to you and you. I'm gonna sell guns to Joffrey and Mubarak. So that way I'm making double the profit. So that's how they make their money.
You know what? Throughout these conversations, and I don't know, maybe I'm just tainted because of our experiences with coming up with in a cult and transitioning from being a cult member to a cult buster, but there's so many times we say certain phrases that we said the same exact phrase when we were talking about like cults, right? How many times have we said to like cult members in the TMWA cult, either your leadership is incompetent or they think you're incompetent, right? Like either way, like it's either one. And it's the same thing with these leaders. It's the same game. Like we talk about Shaitan having the same playbook. He's just putting it in different arenas, using the same plays over and over. And like you said about people voting for him, Muslims going out and campaigning for him and all that. And it's like he turned on his own voter base, his own supporters once he got into office. And I don't know of any president that has been like, oh yeah, they stayed true to what they campaigned on and they were just good and they did the right thing. No, they're all just cogs in the machine, and getting swept up in that. It's like, for me at least, and I think we all kind of in the same position, it's like you're better off just opting out. Like, why play this game? I'm gonna try to, take care of myself, my family knows I care about the best way I can. Not get involved like, oh, my vote matters, and I'm gonna get that person in the office, and they're gonna make so much change. And we've seen videos. There's imams, sheikhs, whatever you want to call them, YouTube personalities that are like campaigning that we need to put people in these offices. We need to push them towards it. And
we have to have representation as Muslims, because if we don't have representations, they will make their own claims about us for us. All right. So that's why we have to have, what's that nigga's name? Zohar Hamdani. Yeah.
We need to have a whole show about him. We need to have a whole show
about Zohar Hamdani, him being a youth. We need to have him being Shia, pro LGBT.
And I want to do this, and we'll kind of wrap up after this.
Next Thursday, bro.
I want to do a show, and I want the theme to be the hadith where Rasulullah said, and I don't remember the exact words. You guys can help me out with finishing up, but pretty much how he said the Muslims are going to follow the Jews and Christians like following like a snake into a hole or a rat into a hole or something like that, like hand by hand or something like that. But a lot of times we think that just applies to like religious stuff. No, it's everything. Because I was thinking about this today. I was like, we kind of grew up where our parents were like new shahadas, right? And you had that new shahada zeal where like you're Muslim because you believe in this, right? You looked at evidence and you're like, I believe in this religion. We're second generation, so a little bit, but every generation, I'm talking about in a macro sense, we lose that. And now we're facing, as African Americans or American Muslims, whether you're white, black, or whatever, second, third, fourth, fifth generation, we're getting to that point that we used to criticize the immigrant Muslims about. Oh, y'all are just cultural Muslims. We are getting to that point where Islam now is just like, we're Muslim just like we're black. We're Muslim just like we're American. It's just something I identify with. And then we're really Americans. We're really Westernized. We're really liberal. We're really modern. And we put a Muslim hashtag on that. Mm-hmm. And that comes with everything where it's like, yeah, it's okay to get involved in politics and be subjected to all these compromises of your deen you're going to have to make, because we have to do this effort to help the ummah. It's kind of like we have to go inside the strip club and drink and smoke because we have to get people out of the strip club.
We're going to give don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Why don't we trust in Allah and do our best at being good Muslims and just know that Allah is going to take care of it no matter what we do, right? We got to have like a whole series or something on this because it's really an epidemic.
No, like that's absolutely true. And just because you are somewhere does not mean you have to participate in whatever they're doing, right? If it's not a part of your religion. So like if I was, say, in Pakistan, right? Okay, and I walked 100 kilometers to the Lahut Lama Khan cave, right? During Ramadan, right? To participate in the Lahut festival, right? I probably shouldn't do that, right? And then go there and pray and worship at the cave, right? But listen, Lahut Lama Khan is still in Pakistan. As I just mentioned, that has not changed. Right? There is no positive about it, all right? I'm not gonna Oh yeah, Allah. No, but next week though, inshallah, if we do a show on Zohar Hamdani, we also have to just talk about progressive Islam as a whole. And there's a whole subreddit full of nonsense called progressive Islam. So I was reading some stuff today. I was like, "Ya Allah, these people."
But Mom Danny, yeah, it's a joke. I think he's yeah, we'll cover it next week maybe. But yeah, he's definitely he's a fall guy.
Have you read any of the Quran?
It's kind of like who's that guy? Like, imagine if Uncle Ruckus became mayor. And all the black people are like, we finally got a black mayor. You represent us all. And then he just started locking us all up, making us slaves. Well, we're in there. We got representation.
Yeah, that's like the Uthman Ibn Farouk made like a short video or whatever talking about the Imam Dani thing. And he said everything except for the fact that he's Muslim. Like it's like this is him basically saying everything, but he ain't Muslim without saying he ain't Muslim.
I can't place takfir upon him, but like look at how his wife dresses, look at his politics, look at what's into gay rights. He's like, yeah. Oh.
Yeah. We'll talk more about it, you guys, next week. Tune in unless something else bigger comes up, but tune in next week. Again, we're gonna try to go Thursdays. We can run 7:30, 8 o'clock. Thanks for joining us. If you have any questions, comments, whatever, type them in the chat. And if anybody that knows more about the behind the scenes or wants to weigh in about the Sudan, the conflict or the atrocities that are happening in Sudan, the political, we'll love to have you on the show to talk more about this, because we want to learn more about it. We want to spread more awareness about Sudan. Because there's not enough out there, and we need more people doing it. And we have people just like Israel's paying influencers to, spread propaganda. We have Muslims doing the same thing against Sudan. So we need to do our part as far as spreading the word, and hopefully we could have some effect like what's going on in Palestine. Until next week, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.